Level 1. A pay deduction notice appears on your phone. A minus sign before the number. You look at it like it might disappear if you blink. It doesn't disappear. You were 4 minutes late because of a red light right outside the company gate. The company doesn't care about the reason. The company cares about the policy. 15 minutes of pay docked. To punish 4 minutes of being late, you stare at the number and feel something that isn't quite anger, just tired. If your effort has ever been valued at less than the number on your paycheck, this is your story. You call HR to ask about the deduction. The hold music loops 3 times. A voice answers, reading straight from the script. The deduction is non-refundable at this time. You ask to speak with a senior manager. Someone will call back within 8 hours. No one calls back. The next morning, the daycare payment gets declined. The daycare teacher adds a $75 late fee. The phone bill turns back on, plus $25. The number that started with 4 minutes is now $200 deep, spreading into places you never authorized. You skip lunch on Wednesday, not by choice. You walk past the diner you always go to. Keep moving like you never meant to stop there. A coworker invites you out after work. You say you already ate. You haven't. Hunger at this level stops being a physical feeling. It goes quiet. The kind of quiet no one notices. Because you've learned to play the part of someone who isn't lacking anything. You walk into HR on Friday afternoon. The rep looks at her screen. Her face shifts in a way you've seen before. Not anger. Not pity. Something colder than both. You watch yourself stop being a person on that screen. It starts as a red flag. A category. An attendance score wearing a human shape. You leave without saying what you came to say. Because somewhere between the 4 minutes, the callback that never came, and the daycare bill still unpaid, you stopped feeling like an employee. You started feeling like a problem. No one claps for the fact that you're still standing this week. Level 2, $35,000 a year. You're no longer scraping by day to day. The account stays steady thanks to 2 weeks of unpaid overtime. No one applauds. The company notices, but not in a good way. The certification renewal fee still gets deducted from every paycheck for the credential the company requires you to hold. No warning. The system just enforces. You ask about an early wage advance. They offer you a plan with a fee, 15% to borrow your own paycheck. You decline. The car breaks down one Tuesday morning. You take the bus, arrive 3 hours late. Motor oil still on your hands when you walk into the office. Your manager just looks at you a little longer than usual. You walk into the manager's office to ask about the fee. He's laughing with a coworker ahead of you. When it's your turn, the smile shifts to professional. Distant. 40 seconds. No follow-up questions. The next person walks in. The smile comes back. You walk out carrying something you can't quite name yet not rejected. Just passed along like cargo on a conveyor belt. The company doesn't see you as an employee at this pay level. You exist on the payroll. You don't exist in their attention. Level 3. $65,000 a year. Something has changed. Not in the paycheck. In the way the company looks at you, you show up consistently. Haven't missed a single day in 6 months. On time. Steady. That's the only thing that gets the system's attention. The certification renewal fee disappears not because you asked. The system sees you qualify. Waives it automatically. Nothing changed. Except your behavior now matches a profile that benefits the company. Invitations start appearing, real training opportunities. The same company that turned you down 8 months ago now offers you a higher position. Approved in under a minute. It feels strange. You didn't change. The number did. The manager greets you before you even reach the desk. Not the smile reserved for someone about to be promoted. Not the silence of the lower pay grade either. Something in between. The company doesn't care who you are. The company cares what your profile looks like. At this level, your profile starts being worth keeping. If you're at this level and still feel like you haven't been seen for your true worth. Comment number 1. Level 4. $100,000 a year. You open the Halden app and see your budget approval authority has just been raised. You didn't ask. No one asked your opinion. The company simply decided you deserve to be trusted with more. The next morning, you get a call. Not an automated system. A person. You've been assigned a senior advisor. He says his name twice, a name you'll hear many more times after this, and gives you his direct phone number. He asks about your goals, about your path forward, about what you want in the next 5 years. He wants to schedule a 15-minute call. The same Halden that once left you on hold for 40 minutes at a lower pay level now calls you first on a Tuesday morning. Your training budget request gets approved within a day. Not because you got better at convincing people, because you're no longer a risk. An error occurs on your paycheck. You email the advisor. 3 hours later, it's fixed. No forms. No hold queue. Just one line back. Handled. You start receiving emails that get your name right, with their own subject lines, with personal details. The company is pursuing you. Not aggressively, subtly. The way people treat someone they don't want to lose. You realize something that stayed hidden at every lower pay level. The company wasn't cruel to you when you were poor. The company was indifferent. And indifference at scale looks exactly like cruelty. You weren't invested in. You were invested because, level 5, $180,000 a year. The company calls you a core talent. The phrase shows up in your performance review, on the welcome screen when you log in the email signature of the person managing your file. You didn't earn that title. The number earned it. Your advisor becomes an actual person. Someone named David. Who knows you have a sister living in Austin because you mentioned it 9 months ago. He emails you on your birthday. Not automated. Written by hand. That detail isn't an accident. It's trained behavior. The company teaches him to remember small things. Because small things keep talent from leaving. You walk into the office, and someone stands up to greet you. Not the receptionist. Someone with a title and their own office. They walk you past the line of people waiting to enroll in benefits. The same line you once stood in at a lower pay level. A line you didn't know existed. Because back then you were standing inside it. An offer arrives in your inbox. Not a raise. A fully funded spot in a leadership program worth a significant amount. The company decided you were worth it before you even asked. You get a call from Vantage, a competing company, offering you a higher salary. You mention it to David. He calls back within an hour, carrying a retention offer. The company that ignored you for years is now competing to keep you. The company doesn't see you as talent at $180,000. The company sees you as something worth protecting. Level 6, $350,000 a year. The company is no longer a place you go to. It becomes a service that comes to you. David doesn't email anymore. David calls. And when he calls, he doesn't ask how you're doing. He asks when you're free to meet with the head of executive compensation. That person comes to your office. Not the other way around. He brings a pre-printed equity proposal, held in a leather folder. He asks about your goals, about your path forward, about how to optimize taxes on the equity package, about retirement planning. The conversation runs 90 minutes. And by the end, he isn't trying to sell you anything. He just leaves his card. Says he'll follow up by email. The persuasion already happened. You just hadn't noticed it yet. You're no longer offered programs. You're consulted. That difference matters. A program is something the company wants you to receive. A consultation is something the company wants you to need them for. And needing them is worth more long-term than receiving something once. You call to report a frozen payroll system. Someone picks up on the second ring. No hold music. No script. The problem gets solved right there on the call. The same issue at a lower pay level once took 3 hours and 4 transfers. You attend a private evening the company hosts. 8 people. A guest speaker. A view of the city you've never seen from this angle. No one mentions money the whole evening. Money is the table, not the conversation. You're no longer an employee at $350,000. You're an asset they protect. If you believe everyone deserves to be treated this way from the start, not only once they're proven valuable enough. Comment number 2. Level 7. $800,000 a year. Executive level. The phrase sounds like compensation package. But that's not what this is. Compensation is a structure. An executive position is a relationship. Animated and relationships don't follow policy. They renegotiate it. You no longer deal with HR. You have a direct line to the board. That person manages only a small handful of executives. You're one of them. He knows your children's names. Knows about the side project you mentioned over coffee last spring. Your equity vesting schedule doesn't follow the standard structure. It's negotiated individually. The minimum investment for a co-investment opportunity gets waived, because the relationship is enough to justify it. Paperwork that takes 2 weeks for regular employees gets processed in 48 hours. Because someone was told in advance whose file this is, you walk into a branch office you've never visited, and they know your name before you sign anything. Another assistant stands up to introduce themselves. The system has flagged you at every location, not because of your reputation, but because of your position. You sit in a conference room with no name on the door. The deal being discussed is a private investment that won't appear in any public record. That room exists because people like you exist. The company doesn't follow policy at 800,000. The company bends policy around you. Level 8. $2 million a year. Chief executive. You no longer have a point of contact at HR. You have a relationship. And that's the gap between this level and every level below it, keeping you as a line item in someone's performance review. Losing you affects someone else's career. The company doesn't compete to keep you anymore. The company reorganizes itself so it doesn't lose you. 3 people at the company exist, in part, because of your position. None of them know that, not even you. But the number is real. Compensation packages are written for one specific person, not pulled from an existing category. Terms get negotiated over a single call. Equity is structured around your exact timeline. You no longer have to ask for anything. Everything finds you, before it's ever announced publicly. But the real shift isn't about access. It's about influence. The company doesn't just serve you. The company consults you. The chief strategy officer asks your opinion on market expansion. You're now reshaping the very company that once docked your pay for being 4 minutes late. The company doesn't have an employee at $2 million. The company has a partner, and that partner has a name. Your name. Somewhere right now. Someone else just got a pay deduction notice. They were 4 minutes late. Because of a red light, the penalty shows up within the hour. 15 minutes of pay. They look at the screen. They feel something that isn't quite anger, just tired. They call HR. The hold music loops. A voice answers, reading straight from the script, saying the deduction is non-refundable at this time. They don't know yet that the system isn't broken. The system is working exactly the way it was designed to work. The same company that will one day fly out to ask their opinion on market expansion is, right now, penalizing them for a small mistake that means nothing. You are the same person at every pay level. The company only decides who you are based on the number next to your name. The company doesn't change at each level. It only reveals what it already was. You don't control what level the system places you at right now. But you control one thing: the evidence of value you leave behind. Even when no one's watching, every time you do more than required, every skill you learn in silence, every time you don't give up even when no one claps, that's not wasted. That's the profile you're quietly building, before the system even realizes it needs you. The level you're at today isn't the level you'll stay at forever, but it only changes if you keep building, even on the days no one's watching. If this story hit home, comment number 3. And if you want to see more stories like this, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next one.